Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, so an article came out from Black Knight, which is a mortgage services company. And of course, they have a ton of data. And it came out with some basic information that supports something that we said back in January. So back in January, we did a market update. We noticed this two forward-looking trends.
Right.
One was inventory dropping substantially. The other was list prices starting to increase, like for 3 or 4 weeks straight. And we said back then
that we had bottomed out, that we were on our way back up for the spring.
Okay, the home prices should start going up,
Yes.
basically. Okay. This article just came out. It's the first one. They're the first person to basically, now this is April. So they're the first ones to say, and I'll read the thing from the report. Mortgage software company Black Knight released the Mortgage Monitor report. This suggests February marked the first positive growth for home prices in the last 8 months. So 8 months it dropped. The report was prepared using Black Knight's mortgage real estate and public records data sets. So they're saying...
So they're saying that the market had turned in February. Now, the reason that they're picking on February is because they're actually looking at closed transactions. So when we said in January that the market had turned, we weren't mistaken. The market had turned, but those transactions hadn't closed yet. Because remember, we were looking at days on the market, we were looking at inventory, we were looking at list prices. So we were looking at live data rather than looking backward. We were looking forward, and we were looking at that moment in time. So I thought this was super interesting, and kudos to us for calling it. And I don't ordinarily say that. Todd's really good about that. I don't usually do that. But I thought this was just very validating that the thing that we were noticing and tracking was actually not only real, but we were accurate, and that now we have this major data analytics company that is basically backing us up, saying, yep, February was when we saw the closings that confirmed what we said mid-January.
And actually, if I can find the clip from the January update where we said this is it, the bottom, they won't. We literally said in January, this is the lowest they'll be. They'll start going up again.
The whole market.
I'm going to go back to this slide here. The market turned roughly January 20th.
Right.
Or within 45 days before that.
Right. So January 20th was kind of when, or the week of January 20th was when the data kind of solidified, so to speak.
Yeah.
But of course, those transactions were started weeks before, so somewhere around 30, 45 days before, which is why, that video where I was saying that we won't know until it's already happened.
Yeah, at least through the spring. But we had basically called it January, it's hard to do in the month when it's happening because you don't get this data for months later, which was that we basically nailed it.
Well, the other cool thing is that, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's all good.
But the other cool thing is that it really, for me, it validated the type of data that we're watching. So when we're looking at those Altos research data, now for me that just makes even more sense, and it makes it for me much more reliable when I see that data then validated sometime later with other numbers from other sources. So I thought that was super cool.
But remember, we were doing Vegas only. We were just saying in Vegas, but they're saying nationally. Here's some more specific numbers. The national home price increase in February, adjusted for seasonality, was 0.16%. So it was a massive increase, right? And the price hike was seen in 39 of the 50 largest markets.
Right.
So only 11 of the 50 largest markets either stayed the same or went down.
But that small change kind of goes to what we've been saying for months, that 2023 is going to be a stable market. We're not going to see a lot of drama. I mean, yes, it's going to do some of this, but overall, it's going to be a very stable market.
Yeah.
Which I think is really, I think it, again, speaks to all the negative headlines, whether it's in newspaper articles, magazine articles, or on social media or YouTube or wherever, all these negative headlines, they need to push that in order to get clicks, because Stable markets do not get clicks. Stable markets do not sell newspapers, do not sell advertising, do not get people to continue to consume the content. So in order to get people to consume the content, they have to push something dramatic. And I'm sorry, but this is not dramatic. And I mean, I'm glad because I think stability is good, but stability is bad for these people that are trying to get revenue from getting people to consume their content.
The saddest thing about this is, we do have more slides here, is that this video that you're watching will probably get 1,000 views, maybe 1,200, right? And it's probably the most valuable advice, giving you some actual information that's not clickbaity. And people just, people aren't going to see it because the headline isn't going to be super sexy. It's not going to be, something that make, people be interested in, because people are really interested in anything good happening. They want something bad to happen. Bad news sells. We said in Vegas that that there was more people buying. Homeowners were seeing that. So when they were raising list price, right, and then low inventory, and then the report attributed the price rise to dynamic low inventory and a modest rise in demand. So supply and demand, inventory is down. People are starting to come back. Interest rates are still higher than they were last year by quite a bit, probably 2.5%, 3%. They're lower than they were, by 0.8, almost a whole percent in October, November, when it was probably the lowest part, when it was still kind of, inventory was still kind of rising and everything. And that's what we saw in Vegas. We're seeing in Vegas. And we're still seeing, if you look at our market update videos in Vegas, every week since October 20th, I think was the date, inventory's dropped.
Right. And this is really important to note. Not only has inventory dropped, but we have an influx of buyers. And the influx of buyers is really interesting because we're getting all the regular buyers that we would normally get from all over the place, mostly California. But now we're also getting all the people who fled California, or Southern California specifically, because of the millionaire tax on real estate. Seattle's doing the same thing. So those people are getting chased out. And when you talk to these people who come here and go, hey, I'm looking for a house, in the $3 to $5 million range, $5 to $8 million range, whatever. And you talk to them and say, hey, what brought you here? The number one thing that they say, the number one thing almost to a person is taxation. Not that we don't have taxes the way those places do, which everybody already knew that, but the taxes that are being levied against them. They're being chased out. So we thank you, Seattle. We thank you, Southern California. You are the realtors of the quarter. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for sending your people here.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom in the state of Seattle had probably sent, or state of Washington, probably sent more home buyers to Vegas than any ad that you could
Absolutely.
do. People are left. And that's not a political slam on them. It's just people have just had it. They've reached their point, and they've, and probably some of the COVID stuff, but you're seeing this increase in taxation that we don't have here. We still have, compared to the state to the west of us, it's substantially different here. Median home here is still like what, 435 or something?
Yeah.
It's pretty reasonable. It's pretty close. It's just a little bit above the national average. But remember, this is a fun city. There's a ton of stuff to do.
Right. There's a lot of stuff to do here. Now, we're not saying that Seattle and SoCal aren't great places to live. They're great places to live. They have a lot to offer. We visited and we enjoyed being there. However, when people are looking at their pocketbooks, they are discovering that Nevada is a better place for their pocketbook, and particularly if you're coming from a major metropolitan area like Seattle or Southern California, then Las Vegas is a more palatable choice than anywhere else in the state because it's a big city with a lot of things to do and a lot of things to offer.
The last quote: apart from Miami, which saw the largest increase in home prices, which we knew, right? We've done a bunch of videos about that. Other areas that saw a rise in prices had better affordability and larger inventory deficits. Now, I will say San Diego is in that list, even though they're not necessarily affordable, unless you count that they have higher incomes there. But San Diego has a super inventory deficit. I think their normal market is 6,000 homes on the market, and they have 2,000 homes on the market.
Right.
They literally have less homes on the market now than they did last year and 2021. Like they're at like historic lows in San Diego.
And you know what's interesting is even the Bay Area. That obviously the Bay Area has taken a hit with real estate prices, but even the Bay Area, their inventory is really low. People that we know that are shopping for a home there, they're having a hard time finding a home. It's not that they're not willing to pay market rate for the home. It's that their selection is minuscule and they can't find something that is suitable for them.
And what happens when that happens? Basically, what people do is one of two things: they either settle and they just buy something, or they give up. And when they give up, it's pent up. They don't give up forever. They just say, "Fine, I'll just wait."
Well, but see, even people who settle are in some ways, I think, a very interesting group, because people who settle, they're going to purchase something. And they're going to turn that into an investment when they find their forever home, right?
Yeah, right.
And so now they purchase something that they turn into an investment. When they find their forever home, they're going to rent that out, and then they will buy their forever home. Now, what that means is that now they have actually taken up 2 homes as far as purchases, and that further limits the inventory for other people who would like to purchase.
And a lot of people say, "Oh, you can't really do that. You need to move the equity, or you have the payments on your credit report." But remember, if you have rent payment, then usually they take like 75% of that rent payment and count it toward your income anyway. So your income actually goes up and then.
Okay, so what he's saying he's talking about if you have a rental property, the lender looks at a portion of the rent income that you're receiving, and they're giving you credit for that as though it's your regular income, and then that bumps the amount of total income that you have available to make payments on your forever home versus your indebtedness for the rental property.
So in round numbers, if you have a rental and you get $2,000 a month from it, and you show that and say, "Hey, look, I get $2,000 a month from the house I just signed a lease. Someone's going to move in it while I buy this other house." They say, "Okay, then what we'll do is we'll give you a credit toward $1,500. We'll add that onto your income, and we'll use your income plus $1,500 of your rent, 75% of it, to qualify for you for the purchase." But most people are not actually purchasing up to the limit, meaning that old. Where people used to literally buy right up to their purchasing limit of 38% or whatever, that's basically gone. First of all, it's hard to get a house when you're doing that because you get outbid by people, and so we know statistically people aren't doing that. People are putting more money down or doing whatever. So
people have learned from either their own past experience or the past experience of others, and they are purchasing homes that they can afford. Yeah. Not homes that they're stretched so tight that they're living on ramen noodles for the next few years. Nothing against ramen noodles, they're yummy. But I suspect that most of us would like a more varied diet than ramen noodles.
Okay, what does this mean for the rest of the year? What's most likely going to happen is it's the spring, people are buying, home prices likely to keep ticking up. Probably not, they're certainly not like they did last year. I predict that by June, home prices will be higher than they are nationally. They will probably tick up a little bit every month. But the negative Nellies will come out and say, "But Todd, June to year over year, June to June, they're down. So home prices are down." Yeah, but they're up from a few months ago. And then we'll see about the fall. Like usually in the fall, home prices do drop. And we get more homes on the market. Usually it's a good time to buy. Usually there's a lot of stuff to choose from.
Right. So it's not necessarily that we get more homes on the market in the fall, but rather that we accumulate more inventory.
Oh, there's less buyers. There's actually more sales in the spring, but the inventory is less because they disappear quicker. And in the fall, there's actually less sales every month, but they sit around on the market longer. So at least you have, if you decide to buy a house and it turns out the house you really wanted sold yesterday, you don't even have a shot in it. But at least if, it's the fall and it's been that house you just always wanted has been sitting on the market for a month and you go, "Oh, this is available right now. Let's go make an offer on it." You have a shot. Whereas in the spring, there's just too many people looking, you don't have a shot at it. Which is one of the reasons why when people say, because somebody said on one of the comments, "You're stupid if you buy right now." And I'm like, there's more houses that'll be transacted in the spring than in the fall for sure. There'll be more total sales as more houses come on the market. So you're saying I should wait in the fall to save maybe 2 or 3% on my purchase price and then live in a house that wasn't the house I wanted because the house I wanted only came on the market right now. I would rather pay 2 or 3% more to get the house I want than wait 6 months to get a house I don't really want, but I got to save 2%, because of some YouTube comment or whatever, which I would never do. If I saw something I wanted, I would buy it. We're trying to buy a house right now in another market.
So anyway, that's our video for the day. A little ranty, but it's okay.
Yeah. I felt good about it though.
He's happy, so that's all that counts, guys.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you watching. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Please like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video. Leave us a comment, tell us what you think. Encourage Todd and his passionate discourse on real estate. I appreciate all that. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.